What's up guys, Deroir here and welcome to another episode of Hype Time. Now, I know there's quite a lot of discussion going on about the content of the different packages of the pre-purchase, but for the moment, I'm not going to discuss that. The general atmosphere just seems, well, perhaps I simply respect the pricing of it due to the fact that we don't have to pay a subscription fee and still we get immense updates and several seasons of living story all included in a one-time price. Still, that doesn't mean I don't understand where some of the frustration is coming from. Hang in there guys, the rest of the information for Heart of Thorns is coming soon enough, and since there's currently no time limit on the pre-purchase offer and the fact that no one is actually forcing anyone to actually pre-purchase the game, I understand if some of you are keeping your wallets closed for the time being, but I just cannot get on that wagon. I'm simply too hyped, I guess. Let's just say I have faith that ArenaNet will make a great game. That said, let's get to the really interesting stuff. The details about guild halls were announced last night, and there's a whole bunch more to it than I would have dared to hope for. So, let's go over the details and discuss the implications of it all. For a long time now, guilds haven't really been a major part of the actual gameplay experience. Sure, there are a few bonuses here and there of being in a guild, but we've always been missing certain things. Introducing guild halls. And when I say halls, I mean an entire map dedicated to your guild. So we can assume that these halls might be immense. I mean, they sort of have to be huge in order for so many people to fit in them and still not feel crowded. Now, there's going to be two different guild halls to choose from when they initially launch. One is the Gilded Hallow, a cavern beneath the jungle that connects to a place called the Forgotten City. The second one is called Lost Precipice and lies on the border between jungle and the North Maguma Wastes. This map supposedly has a river and a giant vertical space for jumping and gliding. In essence, guild halls will revolve around three major things: buildings, decorations, and a guild exclusive fast travel system. As far as I understand it, the building system will be integrated into the already known architecture upgrade line, though the UI might mostly change completely. The building system will feature several things, but most importantly, it's going to allow certain members of the guild to build actual buildings inside the guild hall. Buildings such as a workshop, which will feature a completely new crafting discipline called the Scribe. Learning this discipline will allow you to craft guild tools such as banners, World vs. World tools, and decorations, which I'll expand on in a bit. Another one of the buildings is called the War Room. Here you can build different World vs. World machines, such as an airship that you can send in to assist in defending Stone Mist Castle in the Eternal Battlegrounds. This seems to work much like the airships that we know from the Silver Wastes. You can also build char vehicles for the new Borderlands, though this does seem a lot like a mount. Fast movement through the desert does sound cool. The next building is a tavern that will provide buffs and allow for some social features. That sounds like a really cozy place to sit. There's also a market building which will unlock a whole new set of mini pets and a new tier of guild armor and weapons, which will probably look a lot like the armor that this guy is wearing. Also, I believe that this sword may be guild related too. Lastly, the build site that I am most excited for is the arena. Yes, you heard me, an open world arena for players to PvP in. This is probably the single biggest addition to the guild versus guild community to ever have been added. The cool thing about this arena is that it functions like a sandbox where players can build certain structures and traps to change the environment in the arena, allowing for some really cool play mechanics. I seriously cannot wait to see what creative designs people might come up with for this feature. Which leads me directly into the topic of decorations. Decorations can be obtained from the Scribe discipline, the deluxe edition of Heart of Thorns, and as various in-game rewards with a focus on group play. One of the decorations we can get from the deluxe edition is a vine wall, and at first I didn't think much of it till I imagined creating a huge labyrinth on the bottom of the Lost Precipice guild hall and go through it in first person. I need this to happen. That would be amazing. Or even better, imagine building a labyrinth inside the arena and go full FPS mode. 1 warrior versus 10 naked armorless Sylvari acting as monsters in a Guild Wars 2 version of Doom / Plants vs. Chars. Wow, sandboxing is going to be so much fun. Other than the already known decorations like trees and vine walls and helicopters, I'm imagining different world boss heads or slain elder dragon body parts to be displayed in my hall. If only we can buy them with dragonite ingots. That way those bad boys might get some worth to them. Either way, I see huge potential for some serious creative fun. Now, the third major thing that will be available inside the guild hall is going to be a new fast travel system. Not only will we be able to instantly travel to our guild hall through a button in the guild panel, inside the guild hall itself there's going to be a portal which can instantly teleport members of the same guild into any map. These maps will have a high preference to keep members of the same guild in it. Basically a way for guilds to organize before guild missions and or a world boss and then instantly create their own map for that event. That is a feature loads of people have been screaming for quite a while now. Finally, we're getting it. Now there's two extra things I want to mention. First off, the way that you get a hold of any of these guild halls is through a new merchant in Lion's Arch, the coming rebuilt Lion's Arch, which will sell you the deed to a Mordrum infested area, meaning that for your guild to get the hall you have to clear out the Mordrum that have taken root in there. To me that event sounds like a one-time deal, though that might be a bit of a waste. On the other hand, I sincerely hope that the Mordrum event won't just reset on a daily basis for you to clear out just to use the hall. That'd just be weird. Though the idea of having a raid-like instance like this does in fact sound cool, I still would rather have it separated from the hall itself. Make it a closed instance to enter and slap on some cool daily rewards, and with that many people involved, why not just add even tougher mobs in there? I mentioned the new guild armor and weapons. If this instance is to be turned into a raid-like thing, could we perhaps come to expect a new special guild token apart from commendations? If so, for you to unlock the new armor and weapons, you would then have to do both guild missions and guild raids. That would actually be a really cool way to expand on the personal guild rewards. Speaking of currency, guild merits and influence will be completely phased out. Instead, we'll get a new guild currency called favor. Now, it's not actually been elaborated on how and what this currency will actually entail, but I would imagine it to work similarly to how we know merits and influence, perhaps with some extra things added. The major focus point about this change is the fact that ArenaNet is introducing it to close the discrepancy between small and large guilds, which probably means that the flow of favor will work to create a baseline for how much guild progression can actually be gained throughout a week. Whereas the varying daily influx of influence currently only really reward large guilds within that same time span, that is. This have effectively limited smaller guilds to either spend a whole lot of money making your guild a bigger money sink than intended, or to time gate a whole lot of stuff, which isn't exactly what ArenaNet means when they say play however you want, I guess. So I think this is a really welcome change coming from someone who's in a medium-sized guild. A long time ago, ArenaNet was quoted saying that they wouldn't introduce guild halls till they were absolutely sure they were going to make the best that they could. And I think that they really found a sweet spot here. With the introduction of a building system, they've opened up for an ever-expanding way of growing your guild hall. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they left out merchants and such from the guild hall to begin with. Even if that would be a really cool feature to have, they still have the option of adding that and more to the halls in the future. This versatility makes the entire thing priceless, really. What can I say? The sandbox arena just sounds too cool. But still, I think one of the most interesting things that we might actually come to see is the guild portal. This opens up for a number of different options, like a personal entrance to a dungeon or a special piece of raid-like content in the mists like we know from the Fractals of the Mist. The design of the guild hall really seemed to have somewhat endless opportunities for expandable options. But I really want to hear what you think. Guild halls, yay or nay? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, as a final note, next Tuesday Lion's Arch will be rebuilt. The specialization system will be introduced and the wallet system will completely change. All of this news over the last couple of days have gotten me really excited, and I have an especially interesting topic regarding the wallet that I want to talk with you guys about. But for now guys, thank you all for watching. Until next time, I will see you in the mists.